Oh, baby. Those things are all there. Every bit of it. Has some new rotors and brake parts for the front of that old contractor van. Them suckers being 1-ton units, they're all there. Those are kind of hefty too, but they are not brake rotors. They're actually lights. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about in this second channel video, is some of the electrical and stuff going on out there. Unfortunately, I had a doctor's appointment today, and I don't know how one appointment can kill a morning half of a day, but unfortunately it's how that crap works. We had some merchandise stuff we had to get done, and you know, speaking of which, we're still chipping away at y'all's orders. I think most of last week's stuff should be in the mail come tomorrow, which would be Tuesday, which is probably the 1st. So I just want to say a huge thank you to y'all for flooding us in a way that it's taken us. I'm sorry it takes that long, but we still are a small operation, and man, the way y'all's been flooding us, it drowns us. But after about a week, we finally swim back up to the top, and we're doing good again. So thanks for all your patience. But all that made it hard today, guys, because there's just always only so much time in a day. And I usually try to do second channel stuff on Mondays, and here we are, and Monday's close to over with. So I want to go out there, at least can give y'all a breakdown on some of the electrical that's going to be happening. What's happening, Captain? Sean sent this out. I got it in the mail today. It said it was from Sean, and that's freaking awesome. I'm just gonna throw it in here and take it out to the new shop with us, because obviously that'll make for some good decoration up in there. Now here lately I've been driving that old van a lot, because the van's got all my tools in it, and we are scrambling to get that get the new place ready to move out to, and we keep getting closer and closer. But as much as I drive that van because it's ready to work, someone needs to cut them tree limbs back. That's me. I need to cut them tree limbs back. Tree limbs. The van is good for my contractor work, but the E-Haul, it's still been the merchandise hauler. We keep it up here, and she's just fun for ripping around town. But I ain't had it out on the highway in a minute, so let's blow the cobwebs out of this whole thing. All right, welcome to paradise. And it may look like I was going fast, but I started checking that mirror, my side mirror, because I accidentally caught a glimpse. There's a Dodge truck driving behind me, and he was just driving normal, and he was about to pass me, and I was giving her all she had, and thought I was going fast, and here he comes in his old truck just putting along. He was about 98 years old. Gonna pass me on accident. Let's get this sucker opened up, get some of the heat out of it. You get merchandise this week, you ought to sniff your package. Hold on. Hey Ma, Puddin's out there sniffing his package. Gotta be careful. It's hot and humid as it is, especially here in Oklahoma. You know, you'll get a hot, sticky package if you ain't careful. You should sniff your Puddin's Fab Shop Poly Blue mailer. That's what it is, not a package. See if it smells like gasoline. And if it does, it has nothing to do with whipping donuts in the E-Haul with your merchandise back there, okay? We only take premium, top quality care of them packages. And speaking of premium, top quality, well, I'm hoping that's what we end up with for lighting in here. Now, I'm not sponsored. Some people are sponsored. You know, Sleeper Dude, he got sponsored by them. I asked him what he thought about the products. He seems to be pretty happy with them. So I decided to try the Hyper lights. They got a lot of good reviews from what I've seen. So hopefully we have good luck out of them. Because buying the amount that we're putting in here, now granted, you know, we don't have a brand new shop. We're not doing the fanciest of things. We do just have, you know, I'm not trying to downplay what the shop is, but also at the same time, you know, it's just like OSB. See, look, is that a perfect wall? No, it's not. But is it perfect for a good working shop? Yes, it is. And I always try to find this balance, guys. It's a balance where I want stuff to look good, but not cost an arm and a leg, but be functionable, you know, practical, I guess. And trying to balance all of that when doing a shop build can be a little tricky. my trying to keep cheap on the lighting got me to where we're at now, where I'm gonna try some lighting already, and we ain't even worked in this place really yet. But the lights that are out there, 1, 2, 3 are burnt out of that one, 3 are burnt out of that one, that one's flickering, that one's missing 2. 1, 2, and the high bays that are up there I'd got from the old factory I worked at. They were swapping out because they had already had years of use there, and they were going to the, you know, newest, latest, greatest stuff. Now over here, these lights are supposed to be 5K, and we got a lot of them. And it may look bright on camera, but the brightness from here to over there's not even comparable, guys. Much brighter on this side. When them big doors are closed, where we're not getting natural light in here, it's all LED light. Those lights in my camera don't get along. It gets all wavy and trippy, man. Oh, that was my Bill impression. Those aren't gonna cut it. My buddy installed those. He's looked at them. He said, yeah, this ain't it either. He's gonna buy them back because we gotta do something over there. So right here we have 8 of these lights, and those ones specifically are the 200 watt ones, and we're gonna use them to replace the 4 over here. Multiply that by 2. I definitely meant 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey, there's 2 more that way up in the loft area. That's 10, dummy. Well, we're not gonna put 200 watt ones up in there because all the light up there is obviously gonna go to the loft. And well, that ain't true. We could let's slap some 250 watts up there, and we'll just turn that to the x-ray room. Are you getting a little clogged up in your old intestine perhaps? Come on over, we'll shoot an x-ray. As soon as we verify that that's it, I'll send you to the Sonic. Get the ultimate meat and cheese burrito. Once that sauce hits that belly, I guarantee you we'll be on a toilet within 15 minutes. And if your toilet don't have a seat belt, well, you better install one, because once that burrito kicks in, you're gonna need it. I give a damn what anyone says about Taco Bell giving you the bubble guts. Go try that ultimate meat and cheese burrito. As is, turnkey. Don't change it, don't add nothing, just eat it, see what happens. I was trying to figure out why we were talking about food again. That went to x-ray, and x-ray went to up there. So for up there, for those 2, I actually got some 100 watt ones. Now all these are the same brand, they just change wattages, guys. So right there, we got a 100 watt. Right here, we got a 150 watt. And I got 4 of them for over here. But my buddy come out earlier who's gonna do the electrical work, and no, I'm not doing this, guys. This is one of them things where there's things I can do in here, and then there's things like trying to wire this and add some of the stuff. By the time I learned how to, not that I couldn't do it, but I would end up costing myself more money by drawing it out for a couple weeks doing it than, well, I don't know, I may break even on the deal versus, you know, me doing it versus what I usually do or whatever. But what I'm getting at is they're good at doing the stuff and they know what they're doing, and it's my friend. So anytime I can support a local business, I do it. Anytime I can support a local business that is my friend on top of that, you dang right we'll use them. So I have a buddy who they're gonna do all this. So he plugged in one of the lights earlier, and we were doing some mock-ups just with the 100 watt, and we could just tell that 4 of them spaced through there wasn't gonna be enough. So I actually ordered another 4 of them. I think we're gonna go 2 spread out, 1 in the middle, 2 spread out, 1 in the middle, 2 spread out, probably 1 in the middle. And with that kind of spacing, and as good as them lights are, it should light this sucker plumb up. I think these ones are high enough that, you know, being high up there is gonna let the light do its work of spreading out. And they're bright too, because we mocked up one, we plugged it in and kind of held it out over there, and yeah, it seemed like it was gonna do a good job. And if for some reason they end up not being enough over here, we can add another one in between or whatever. I'm not gonna stop on lighting until I'm happy with the lighting. Especially being a YouTuber, guys. I gotta have good lighting for y'all. Same with doing our air. I've gotta get the air out of here where it's quiet. You know, like Mortsky, he don't care, guys. He goes and records and makes a full video standing next to a furnace that runs the whole time. Then he like, here, let me plug in my compressor right next to that. He just wants y'all to listen to butchered audio for an hour and a half. He's a nice guy like that. I know him personally, and yeah, super nice guy. He really is though. Mortski's a good dude. Anyhow, we're not talking about him. This ain't Mortski Monday or whatever. This is what's going on with our lighting right now. And those 100 watts, we held one up underneath here and looked at the spacing on it. I had two for underneath here. I'm gonna get one more, and we're actually gonna divvy it up and put 3 underneath here. Now, if that ain't enough and you want me to get plumb buck nasty, if you want to melt metal with bright light, just come pull this string, all right? No electricians required. I installed that bad boy. Probably gonna be the brightest thing in here because I did it. That can be the x-ray booth right there. Know all this we set up on Monday's video, which most of y'all have probably already synced that. And if you haven't, well, we built this little thing and whatever. So what I'm getting at is 3 lights underneath here, 100 watts a piece. Above the loft, we're gonna do 2 of them, 100 watts a piece. Over here, I think we're doing a total of 8 at 150 a piece, which sounds crazy now that I'm saying it out loud and not thinking it in my head. And then over here, we're doing 8 at 200 watts a piece. Like I said, if that ain't enough, we're gonna add in more. But wait, speaking of more, there's more. The lights underneath here, I think we're gonna put on their own switch. The lights up there for the loft, we're gonna put on their own switch. And then these will be on their own switch and that side will stay on its own switch. Nothing overcomplicated there. Now, another thing I wanna add is around the top of these walls, I want to, we're gonna run a circuit and we're gonna hide some outlets up there, some junction boxes, where if I hang signs up there that can light up eventually, we can get them plugged in and they'll be on their own light switch. So we'll have this wall on one. We're gonna hide a box behind the loft on each side where we can fish wires if need to hang up, light up signs on there. And that'll all wrap to this side as well. Now over on this side, we're not planning on doing nothing like that because if anything does light up and hang on the wall over here, it'll be, you know, it'll reach a regular old plug and that'll be fine. We ain't gotta have it on no fancy switch. Next, let's talk about some 220. Cal tried to convince me to run 220 a long time ago when I had him add more boxes and of 110 or 120, whatever, and they put the first round of lights in here. He tried to talk me into adding more 220, and we have this big old cord here that reaches plumb across the shop. She reaches all the way to the left pert near. And me, you know, being the cheap butt, was like, nah, we'll be okay, we've got that, you know, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. Well, now I started looking around here the other day and I was picturing like, what if you had one car sitting here and you wanted to weld something on there and you're having to, you know, finagle that cord, and I'm just like, why am I trying to make my life hell for years toting 220 around the shop when we're in the stages and we got the opportunity right now to make it a little easier. So I'm glad I looked at it with him. One, we do have a plug here, so we can swap out that for the style of plug we actually need for our welder and our cord. I do have a 30-foot extension cord that I do not mind handling. It's what we use out in our use at the old shop, and navigating a 30-foot cord ain't bad. Now our lift, it is 220, so it has to be hardwired in, and they're gonna drop conduit or whatever. I asked him if we can use this, especially being in the middle of the shop here, if we put us a 220 junction box off of this, and it could just be the same thing feeding this. So that means, no, you couldn't weld and or use this at the same time. You'd probably have, you know, you'd probably trip your breaker then, depending on what size you put in there, obviously. I think we'll probably be able to get away 12 to 16 amps. So you could probably do a 20 amp for this. I need to check my welder. Modern day welders, guys, they are not like welders from forever ago. I remember I looked up the amp draw on my welder before, and I remember being like super surprised because it was so low. So we may be able to get away with that on a 20 amp, may have to go to a 30 amp because of the welder, I don't know. Don't call the Polk County homemade shop inspector on me though, because he'll tell you to piss off because they don't exist. So we won't be able to use the lift and the welder at the same time, but that's okay because I don't have employees. So it's not like I'm going to be welding and then have to worry about someone coming over here with their head up their hiney and start using the lift, and then I got to hit them with a roundhouse and be like, hey dummy, I done told you you can't be lifting if I'm welding. Having it here though gets us 220 kind of in the middle of the shop, so we could plug in our 30-foot cord over there and probably make it to right in here, or we could plug in here and make it to over there. That's plenty of overlapping coverage. Then to run with that, I told them if we could drop one down over here. Well, kind of the same thing. Being here at the end of the building, we'd have 30-foot coverage all around this way. Then we hit the left and it just daisy chains that away. Our big monster cord, I actually thought about getting rid of it. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think we'll probably put a plug on it that fits the welder and the plasma cutter, and we'll probably put it on a reel right there, just keep it reeled up. But I am gonna have them also come down somewhere along this wall, and we're gonna do some 220 action in here. Having one in here, kind of favoring this side, having that one on the cord right there, same thing. Should be plenty of 220 action on this little shop here. Trust me guys, when I say little, don't think that this to me is little. Now this shop here is still more square footage. The smaller side is more square footage than what we have at the other place. But in perspective to that, this is a smaller shop. This is a still decent size little building here. Now there is more, but it will actually be on the outside of the shop, so I'll go show you what I'm talking about. Well, actually what I'm talking about is this unit right here. It's for a compressor. Let's see, does it say any amps on it? It should somewhere. Oh baby, full load run amps, 35. This big mama right here is going to pull some power. Use only number 6 wire when running 50 foot or less of wire to sub panel. Use number 4 when over 50 foot. Failure to do that can cause capacitor and motor failure, thus voiding your warranty. So originally, before I planned on making this the junkyard area, and before I ever dreamt I could even have some concrete added right here, I figured that we could go back here and get bit by a snake. Now that's not what I was figuring, but I figured what I always thought would happen would be right back here on the fence line, we would end up with some trash laying here. Nope, just plain that wasn't it neither. I always thought we'd end up putting like a little concrete pad right here, and that's where we'd make our hush house for the air compressor. So whenever I had them run all that other lighting before, I had them run this out here. I don't know if they ran wire to it 220 yet or not already, but obviously that was the point of it, was to, you know, be able to have power for the compressor. Now the compressor, we're just gonna set it over here. We got a solid pad to do it on. The shop builder is gonna add on to our shop. I'm talking with him now. We're gonna figure out our overhang for over here for him adding an awning on this side. So that gives us a opportune spot to put our air compressor. And so we got to get some 220 and some strong 220. If you're going to do 50 foot or less, you're good with number 6. But if you're going to do 50 foot or more, you better get number 4 wiring ran over to here for it. And then on top of that, we've got our floodlight thing that'll illuminate this at night. But I talked to them about, you know, if we get this awning and it's dark over here and we need to get something from over here, I just need a simple set of lights. It ain't got to be like the, you know, blind you type stuff we're putting inside the shop, but some type of lighting underneath this awning. Now obviously that ain't gonna happen until the awning's here, but whatever they need to do to make sure they're ready to, you know, do that at that point, I said let's go ahead and take care of it too, because I don't really know exactly what all we're doing. I know wherever outlets drop on these walls, which is for our 220 there and over there, I guess, and obviously on the left, that's all going to be in conduit. The good thing about conduit is once it's dropped down along there, if I don't like how it looks, even though conduit and a junction box usually don't look bad, we can paint that sucker gray like everything else on the wall, and I think it'll kind of help it blend and disappear and make it look like it was never here. Kind of like when you start looking up here and around, you just start seeing all this junk and stuff up there. Like right up there, there's an outlet from the old light circuit, but most people don't even notice it because it all just kind of blends. I just wanted to show y'all and kind of tell y'all and break down what's going on electrical, because I'm working in the shop this week. I'm gonna start plumbing air, finish up our base trim, finish cleaning up that side of the shop, hopefully get all that stuff kind of out of there. Some of it we can't get out of here, so I'd like to at least get everything as nice as possible. And whatever else, you know, I gotta do. I'm trying to finish up out here. That's what I'm saying. The shop being functional, being able to function. Man, I can't talk. Toot toot. All aboard the struggle train. That's me on speaking. I'm struggling. But if it has to do with the shop functioning, aka the air, aka whatever cabinets, and guys, the sausage wagon's got all kinds of signs and stuff in it that I've been collecting for some before we ever even owned this place. Some of it's been over the last 2 years as cool signs popped up, and it's cheap and affordable. I've just been snatching them up. So we ain't got a whole lot because nothing nowadays is hardly cheap or affordable, but every once in a while you get lucky. And yeah, any of that kind of stuff we can start to install, hang, get the sucker moving ready. That's what I'm gonna focus on this week. And that's another part of the thing I was doing today was, man, when you're not a real contractor like I'm not, and you think like, ooh, I need this, and you drive all the way there to get that, and then you get back, and then you realize like, hey, I forgot this. So you gotta go all the way back to over there to little Oklahoma City, and you get 3 things, and you get back, and then you realize you forgot one other thing, and then at that point, you're just ready to put in your 2-week notice because you're the worst employee ever. That's how I was feeling, is just, anyhow, earlier today, I went and got some stuff where tomorrow, when I can start on this place, I don't have to spend hopefully half the morning running around getting what I need. We should be able to hit it with a fresh start. I'll be in here for a week. Then next Monday, next Monday, the electricians are gonna be out here. I don't know if they're gonna be here for 2 or 3 days, or, you know, however long they're gonna be here. But then at that point, I'm gonna take some input here, especially from you guys, because you obviously watch all my videos because you're here on the second channel. And besides that, it ain't even a good second channel video. It's kind of just me talking. So obviously y'all care. So I think next week, obviously I can't be working in there if the electricians are in there, because they can't tiptoe around me and I can't tiptoe around them. And I've told you before that usually Will It Run videos give me I can usually get one done in say like 2 days, maybe 3 days, including the editing as we go throughout the week or whatever. But that would give me a couple days to then be able to start moving if we did do a Will It Run. And I don't know if anyone, oh, I ain't even looking at it. I was trying to be all smooth, like, I don't know if you can see what's in the background. Yep, a damn fence panel, a couple cedar trees, and everything else that you've already done a Will It Run on. No, I was trying to be slick and make it where this was in the background, but I quit walking about 25 foot too short, and it wasn't back there. So what I was hinting at is, I know we've been doing a lot of shop progress. Prior to that, we were doing a lot of wagon stuff that we'll probably never even get that wagon done. At this point, we might as well go put it back in the junkyard. And we ain't done a Will It Run in a while. That ain't true, it ain't been that damn long. Anyhow, does anyone want to see the box truck Will It Run? That's what I was trying to get at there. Sometimes I just can't get at what I'm trying to get at. I'm gonna call BS, because that says 20-foot blast and ain't no way. This stuff's hardly got a 10-foot stream on it, if you ask me. So that's it, guys. How'd you like that? Did that look good? I was trying to do an arm swing, but there wasn't nothing to lean on. So I was trying to do like the mime, where it looked like I was leaning on something. Well, it's either gonna look really cool or I'm gonna look like an idiot. And I know all about looking like an idiot, trust me. Appreciate you guys coming back time and time again, supporting us, watching, just keeping this dream of mine alive. I know this wasn't the most exciting video, but you know what? When things are busy, it's just what it is sometimes, guys. I keep trying to figure out how to put more hours in a day, whether that means I get up earlier or even stay up later. And it don't matter how much I do any of that. There's never enough time, guys. Never is. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm on the Instagram. I'm on the Patreon. There ain't a lot of stuff left at putemsfabshop.com because you keep kicking our butts, just buying us out. So we appreciate that support. Get what you can as you can, because as we go to do this move, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sure at some point we are going to have to shut the website down, and I'm going to have to move us from out there to over here. So yeah, who knows what that's going to turn into. I will see you guys next time, but do not forget, sitting on your ass won't finish your package. Well, still thinking about them sweaty, sticky packages. Yeah, I am, because that's never mind, I ain't gonna say it. Sitting on your ass will not finish your project. I'm worried about getting y'all's packages out. You can tell what's on my brain, people's packages. Hot damn, there's so much BSery, we had to start a whole channel for all the extras. Be sure to go check out Puddin's Fab Shop if you ain't seen that baby yet. Come on!